And we're back. Uh, let's talk about this because we talked a little bit off screen here, a couple minutes, but perhaps we should explain to everyone. So we were discussing sort of where to go, and I think I'm just gonna pass it off to Judd, and Judd's gonna do a thing.
Yeah. So I think we see the final bits of paperwork for this case go through tubes and go through the pneumatic tubes that go throughout the city and across the Bowmore Bridge and to the Imperial Citadel, and then get sent by wire to Imperial City and are handed to the Undying Emperor. And I think it's a case closed, but there's like an asterisk next to it. And the asterisk is one case of ghoul unaccounted for. And that was the case lost at the bridge. And with the current folks you have asking you to go undercover and try to deal with the spirit wardens is a bit much. So I think they basically put you both into rotation as investigators, and we see Bluecoat tape go over the Rowan House as Rowan Tower is claimed by the Imperial City, and on a dark night, a familiar Bluecoat, Thena, who is she's in Charterhouse, and she's corrupt, and you folks have run into her a bunch, and Drab almost punched her on the neck, and yeah, and she comes on as the ranking officer to a murder scene, and there's a dead Bluecoat on the steps of what looks kind of like a brownstone apartment, and in Charter Hall, and another Bluecoat comes to her and says, "You're not going to like any of this." She says, "We have a dead Bluecoat. What am I to like?" He says, "Well, it gets worse. There's there's electroplasmic crap all over the place in there, and the spirit wardens are going to want it. It's a dead Bluecoat. It's ours. Just hide the electroplasmic crap. I don't care. It gets worse than that." Why is that? Well, one of the people. This is Lord Myles Pender. This is Lord Myles Penderen's house. I don't give a fuck. He's on the list. And she like cusses. And I think like there's a young Bluecoat there who says, "What does that mean? He's on the list." There's a list of people who the Lord Governor has put out that if they are killed, it's an Imperial Mandate case to find out who killed them. They do some kind of work with the Emperor and with the Imperial government. And Thena comes back and says, "Here's what we're going to do. We're going to find out who killed Barton. Fuck those investigators. Move Barton's body, put it somewhere else. We'll find it in a few hours." That's tampering with a. Do you think I don't know what the fuck it is? Now, put in the call so these mandate assholes can come flash their fucking badge. Some outlander can act holier than thou to me. Some Bluecoat liaison shitheel and come get in my face and pretend like they know what the fuck the street is. Put in the word. No one goes in that house. Surround it. Let's put in the call. And I think you all are kind of like tidying up and like cleaning up the ghoul stuff. And I think all of the ghoul that you do have is being like loaded into Imperial army carts to be sent to the Imperial city. And like all of your evidence is just like going into an electric carriage. And as you're kind of watching it all get packed up, there's a thump, and there's a canister.
I think there's probably actually like a moment where all this stuff is being loaded up, and Trav is making sure to sign the like I verified that there are 14 vials in this crate, and like puts it in
Right.
the crate as the crate gets sealed, and puts the tape on top and says there are 14 vials, etc. And then like when all that's said and done, I think Trav is like, well, investigator, it's been a pleasure. I offer my hand as if like we're done, case is closed, we're getting the hell out of here.
Totally. I imagine too, like Baya goes to take that hand, and that's we see like the foomp, like
Yeah.
come in the background, like
Yeah, both of us glance at the same time.
yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So are we gonna start a new case here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you want to do downtime first, or how does that?
No, I feel like if we're gonna clear our wounds and stuff, this is probably like a couple months later. It's obviously, or maybe like a month later. Like
Yeah.
there's obviously been healing. Like Drav may like test his shoulder, but like it's obvious that it's not like in the sling with the blood,
Yeah.
And I feel like if we've done that, then the downtimes were consumed recuperating and fixing all this stuff, and I think that doing extra downtimes is perhaps not super beneficial.
Yep. I dig that. That's great.
All right, cool.
Cool.
So we get put on the case because they don't know that they're supposed to put the spirit wardens on the case. Is that what I'm hearing?
That is what you're hearing.
Okay, fantastic. Now I have a question for you. Is this a mandate or is this a spirit warden's case? I only ask because we can do all sorts of wild stuff. We can have a guest star next time we play who plays a spirit warden because there are character sheets for those now. And,
Oh yeah, yeah. We could do that. I think there's going to be tension there. It's going to be one of those everybody wants this case.
Let me ask you a different question. Is ultimately the villain in this case a human, or is it a supernatural force that is threatening the stability of the city? I will leave it to you, and it's not important today because we're going to be finding some evidence. The first thing that's going to happen is that the brilliant Maya Tui is going to look at that crime scene and about 2 seconds later go, this body's been moved.
Right. Awesome.
All right, cool. Well, let's talk about that maybe after game, because it can be a mandate where a spirit warden is brought in, or it could be a spirit warden case where we are attached. It could be any number of things. These groups can intersect. As a matter of fact, I think they standardize the skills now, actually, like mesh and stuff too. So
Cool.
there's a whole bunch of. I got to preview it a little bit at Go Play, so it was really funny because like they put all the sheets on the table, and I think I might have been like vibrating with excitement when like the spirit warden sheet went down because like everyone's like, I think Strash wants to play the spirit warden. I was like, so they let me be the warden. Anyway,
That's awesome.
yeah, let's just jump right in. Let's do this. Do you want us to make an engagement roll, or do you want us to just be at the crime scene like we were last time because it's like the opening scene of the case?
Yeah, I think we can just get you right into the mix. Yeah, I think we see you all walk into Charter Hall past the Charter Wall. So when they originally set up the electric barrier, the initial barrier was around Charter Hall, I believe, right? Am I making that up?
It's totally possible. I actually don't know that one off the top of my head, but my book is right behind me if I need to go grab it.
Blah, blah, blah. The old wall, which was built, the first lightning barrier. Yeah. So the original lightning barrier was here. And then like they tested it and then they expanded it.
Awesome.
So you're in a beautiful brownstone house in Charter Hall, surrounded by Bluecoats. I think they've got their lanterns set with like a blue light so that people just stay the fuck away, and so that other Bluecoats can like see it through the fog and know where how to get to you. So you like follow a blue light kind of through the streets, and 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 there's Thena, looking like when she sees you, she's just it's like a shake of her head, like of course it's you.
Actually, share a similar look.
I think Drav actually is wearing like a gas mask, but it's pretty obvious it's Drav. There's like no question. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Maya's wearing her hat, even though there probably is like a bit of drizzle, right, and a bit of like low fog on the
totally.
ground, and yeah.
Totally. So, Lord Myles Penderin, owns this house. He's dead inside, along with a couple of other bodies. His name is on the list. He does some kind of work for the Imperial government. So if he is killed, it's an Imperial Mandate.
So that's what actually like when the Foomp came in, there was like a mandate inside it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I believe that the way that works is we actually scrub, like if this is a new case and it's a new mandate, we actually scrub all of the stuff and we just rebuild from scratch.
Yep.
So as we were about to do that, because a bunch of our mandate XP, our character XP remains. So let's take a look at our mandate real quick. We have, look here. We have 2 powers, both which are pretty sweet, and we have 4 dots, of which we technically can only start with. Oh no, actually we start with 2. We gained 2. So I have a question. Do we want to reset our powers, Maya, or do we want to roll with what we got? Because I have a suggestion for our 2 dots, because our trainings have served us well, and bless the trainings, but we've been doing more clocks and stuff recently, so I don't know if we want to just like shift our dots to something else. And I do have a minor suggestion.
What is your suggestion?
So there is a specific mandate thing. Oh wait, I probably should do it in that window. Haha. 1 second. There is a mandate specific thing that gives us essentially a specific legal exception by word of the Emperor. Which I think would be a cool thing to pick up, and then we can establish what that is whenever we actually need it.
Cool.
But the first time I saw it, I was like, I super want to have it. So I'd like to see what it's like to play with one of those. So I don't know how you feel about that.
That sounds fun and rad.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the mandate itself starts with conviction and savvy training built into it, so we can't change that. So I'm just going to take out the I'd love that personal training and the force training, my fortes. And I'll take a look here. I believe that thing is called an Imperial Pardon.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's called an Imperial Pardon. Yeah. So we can do that, and then the question is, do we want to keep one of these powers, either of these powers, both of these powers? I will point out that the only reason that I'm not traumatized is because we kept our one non-Bluecoat power, which is the Forged in Fire, which gives us +1d resist. I don't think our resistance pools are built out well enough yet. But the extra action is kind of important.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
I took the one spider power that gives me an extra downtime action, but I feel like that one was really strong too. Do you have a preference? Do you want to keep those, or do you want to take a new power?
A new power would be fancy, but yeah, I feel if we're gonna keep any of them, I think efficiency.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was very helpful for like
same call for a 2-player game. We're gonna start with efficiency. All right, cool. So I'm gonna deselect handpick just to indicate that it's not on. And then is it cool if we pick up what is it, the
pardon?
Yes, the pardon.
Yeah, the pardon.
All right, hang on, I'm trying to do the thing. 3, no, 2. 2. I said 2. Oh. Okay, 2 boxes. There we go. And the upgrade is going to be called Imperial Pardon. Sweet. And I will mark that. We can flash back to what specific thing are we pardoned from. So, all right, cool. Yeah. We are now at the start of our mandate. Oh, wait, let me reset our XPs and stuff. Pressure goes to 0. Heat goes to 0. That's the good news. Rank goes to 0. That's the bad news. Or 1. Actually, you start at 1. And duty empties. All right, cool. Take it away, Inspector.
Oh yeah. So like, do we sort of sweep the place from the outside in? Like, is it worth doing a roll outside to see?
Yeah, I'm totally down with that. You want to just like start out and kind of like do like just see what you can figure out on the outside?
Yeah, if Athena's like people are dead inside, it's like, well, there's a sign of entry, like, or like, does Athena know, like, is it obvious from the way they died, like it was like a fight on the inside or someone broke in or that kind of thing? Yeah.
I mean, sounds like an observe roll.
Yeah.
Cool. I think you're controlled limited.
It's that fog.
Yeah, I mean, just like starting out in the street, you know?
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna clear my wounds while you do that.
Oh no, I got a 2 and a 3. The fog is very thick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Something slips by.
I think we flash back to a bunch of Bluecoats moving a body and like literally scrubbing the stairs and like just getting rid of evidence.
So are we at the ectoplasmic place or are we at the new place?
You are outside the Brownstone.
Where the ectoplasmic residue was or whatever?
Yeah. They said inside there was electroplasmic stuff going on.
They moved the Bluecoat and we don't find any signs of the Bluecoat, but there are other important people dead inside, and that's what we're going to be about. I see. Okay. I thought that the Bluecoat was the important person, and I was like, it's like a spy or something.
Nope. He is not. And we don't have his name because we don't know he exists.
That is correct. Oh, this is going to be a fascinating case. I already love the fact that we have clues that we don't know.
Totally.
We as people have clues our characters don't know, so that's fascinating. All right. I mean, do we want to go inside and look?
Yeah, I can't see anything on the outside that would be relevant.
It's foggy. I don't see anything either.
It's gray and
green. I think you just don't see shit.
Yep, story checks out. Do you want to do your Sherlock Mind Palace, walk through the scene of the crime, reconstruct it stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to do that. And
I guess you can push yourself in the line of duty or something like this. This is probably a good place to look for. I mean, we're clean on stress, but we might as well start stacking our odds.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I can expand special armor to push myself in the line of duty. Yeah, so I think this counts as like the line of duty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like as Baya needs complete silence while she's walking around the crime scene, and perhaps like a few times Athena or one of the others tries to speak up and I say like.
And you're in a parlor, and there are 3 dead bodies in the parlor, and like an electroplasmic burn mark on the floor and on one of the walls.
Ooh, red. I think like Maya for sure touches her index and middle finger like to the burn mark, and I think like much like we saw in the courtroom, like that lavender glow extends like from the tip of her finger like up to her wrist kind of thing as she like, communes a bit with
cool.
what happened there.
Cool.
Do I have a position for observing?
Yeah, this is controlled great.
Okay. And I'll push myself by spinning my special armor. Oh my god, I got a 3, 2, and a 1.
This is not your day.
This is not my day.
Well, I mean, we can have a conversation here, right? Like, so what was the position? It was controlled, right?
Controlled.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great, yeah.
so there are two options here. Either Judd can say, you lose this opportunity, you find nothing of meaning, this is supernatural, you're gonna have to bring in an expert. That's reasonable. We can't do a lot about that. Or we can ask the question, how can we make this risky? Like, where do things go wrong? Do you get possessed? Does something jump you? Do you get trapped in memories? Like, we can take a look at how to make the situation risky, so then the controlled would drop to risky and we'll make another roll.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a tune, right? Like, that is not a skill that an investigator starts with. You've kind of been role-playing having it. Maybe it's something that you may want to pick up. You can do it via the veteran power, get the blue thing, get a tune, whatever. But
Totally.
Ultimately, like, you're a little bit out of your element, right? Like, you're trying to do a supernatural thing, and you're not a spirit warden, so you don't have the gear and the know-how. It could be that something goes wrong, or it could be that you just can't find anything out right now, and we need to go. We're stymied for the moment, right? Like, we can just be like, what I really need is Hopper, but we need to distract Athena because we can't have like non-cops investigating a crime scene.
So yeah, I like that. I think let's go to risky. I think we're gonna put this to risky great.
How do we make it risky great?
I think something was left here, like that to trap someone just like you.
Oh.
I have no idea what you rolled. Teresa's getting sucked into a supernatural trap. This is not a skill I come with.
Oh, red.
Oh boy.
I think Maya for sure feels like the hair on the back of her neck like prickle.
Yeah.
With impending danger. Or danger that was.
Cool.
And yeah, wait till from here. Can we try again, or like should we get Hopper in?
I think we're gonna re-roll that observe as risky great.
Oh, cool.
Those same 3 dice, and we're gonna see what happens.
Nice. I think like yeah.
Can I make one additional call here? And see if I'll pitch this. So if something starts going wrong, like I've seen Maya do this, and moreover, I've been learning how to like ride into Deathlands and kind of like picking up a little bit of the whole Severosi mystique that you bring with you. If I can see that something goes wrong, can I just like rush and try and like grab you and take you out of the danger zone, and that's gonna be like my assist? Because I've got like 0 special powers here. I can only assist in very mundane ways. Judd, how do you feel about that? Is that like try and break the contact? It's like someone okay, that's fair. All you mind?
I'm gonna say no.
No, it's fine. It's cool.
It's your prerogative. Yeah.
Well, it's us as players. It's our job to try. But
no, totally. I appreciate you trying.
Go for it.
Yeah, and I think like we see the danger increasing, right? Because the lavender starts to fight with blue, and like the glow around her hand like becomes bright, a bit more dominated by the ectoplasmic blue. And I think like Maya like closes her eyes real tight to steel herself against it to push through and find out more from this room, and puts a hand on like the charm ward that she wears around her. And we'll try and
and I think you walk, a couple things happen. You find one of the bodies and you turn it over, and it's a Severosi woman. And her wards are that she has a lot of the same stuff that you had, and they're blasted. And then you're kind of like tracing it from her, and you come like the blue ectoplasm, the electroplasm is like, it looks like shapes of a body, like something like went through the wall. But then you come to a door frame and it looks like someone like drew a rune in electroplasm, and that is new. And like you touch it and it lights up, and then make a roll.
Oh, rad. If it helps, in the back of my mind, I've had this idea that Maya was possessed once before, and hence why
Nice.
she's always purple, because that's like the thing keeping the blue inside her quiet.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
So position is risky great, right?
Risky great.
Good luck.
And I will push myself. Oh, I rolled a 6 on my push, so that was good.
Cool. You're in the room, and Lord Penderin says, "Let us begin." And the Severosi witch says, "I will let the ghost come into me, and I will control it, and you all can ask it questions." And Lord Penderin says, "This is a very exciting ghost. I cannot wait to show you all the bit of. I don't want to spoil it." And there is there's a young woman whose body is also in the room, who looks like kind of like a high society Brightstone woman, and then there's another woman who's dressed like a Leviathan ship captain, and her body is not there. She's a new face. She says, "Myles, you always bring interesting things to us. Looking forward to it." And then he takes out this spirit jar, but it's this like industrial city spirit jar, and puts it down, and kind of like you hear like the rush of air as it comes, as it hisses out, and the Severosi witch Kellen tries to bring the ghost into her, and like you see like her breathing in the ectoplasm, and then you see the ectoplasm like reach down and start plucking at her chains that hold her wards and breaking them, and they start falling off. And then she starts acting like almost like someone who's drowning, and her ghost is pushed out, and that's what goes through the wall. And then the ectoplasm, the ghost that they were trying to get to possess this witch, goes into the Leviathan ship captain, and he takes out his pistol and shoots the young woman and Lord Myles. And then like he has to reload, right? Because it's a single shot breech loading pistol. So like, and he's doing it kind of slowly and methodically. And he looks at the gun like, this is really interesting. And then like shoots Lord Myles while he's begging for his life. And then does it again, and does it a little bit faster this time. Like, oh, I've got the hang of this now. And then he shoots Kellen while her ghost is out.
Oh my God.
And Kellen tries to come back, and he grabs her and like grabs her, and then like takes a little bit and writes the rune on the wall, and like squeezes it down like he's squeezing down like mud. And you don't know where it goes. He just compresses it until it goes where? Who the fuck knows? And then he looks right at you and says, or she looks right at you and says, "Huh, I expected the spirit wardens. They're sending you?"
Oh my God.
What's your name?
Holy shit. I think Maya, yeah, like is not used to this kind of thing and doesn't quite realize that this entity is probably talking to her. So looks over her shoulder and then doesn't see anyone and looks back at the entity and says, I am Maya. Like sort of points at herself like, you're talking to me.
I would give you my name, but I feel like you finding that out is part of your job. I don't want to do that for you.
Of course, I always did enjoy a challenge.
Good. You're going to have one now.
I look forward to uncovering this and your many tricks you seem to keep up your sleeve. You're quite the magician.
And you are not.
No, I'm not a magician, but I likewise have a few tricks up my sleeve. I look forward to showing them to you.
I prefer the term wizard. Magician has a sleight of hand connotation, especially in the modern day, that I find troubling.
A wizard.
You're a Severosi.
Indeed.
What brings you to Deskball?
I feel it is not what brought me here, but what keeps me here that is pulls more of my being. That I'm here to do what I can to rid this place of rats.
I can help you do that if you'd like.
You can? Are you not only just a wizard, but also a rat catcher?
I've got my share.
Fascinating. How can you help?
And he picks up the spirit jar and like he's getting ready to leave because that's like what he did at this point. But like time is weird. And he says, well, first you have to prove some things to me. Move this case in a direction that is not conducive, that will give me some time, and I will make sure that some rats are handed to your door. All I'm asking for is time.
Sounds decidedly easy.
I doubt it's easy.
You underestimate my abilities, wizard.
Not at all.
Very well. I shall see what I can do.
Good. I hope we get to meet. And then I think you wake up and you notice that like when he was holding the spirit jar, he like turned it so you couldn't see the label on it.
Ooh.
And when you look on the ground, you can see like an electroplasmic burn mark and like the round outline of the jar is there. Like when that wizard spirit came out, the burn mark hit the rug, and then you can see where they picked up the spirit, where she picked up the spirit jar and walked out. You didn't catch the exit, but yeah.
I feel I shall have to relay this to Drav at some point.
Oh, I think you wake up to like Drav shaking you, being like Maya, you know, like
yeah.
Because I have no idea what this shit's going on. You touched something, then it got all purple and blue, and then you fell over, you know?
And I think, like, Maya comes to with all the sort of vigorous shaking and, like, places a large hand, like, over yours and grips it tight. And locks her lavender eyes with yours.
Okay.
And I don't think she's just like I'm fine or like it's all good. I think she's just like like the sort of the game is on, kind of like Sherlockian. Like I found out some shit.
Awesome. I'm also looking forward to having to remake our little title card to be like Bluecoats, the wizard jar case.
Yes.
Nice. Ooh. You named it.
The wizard jar case.
Awesome.
Cool. Wow. Well, that's a thing to follow up. What do you want to do? I mean, there's some obvious stuff. It feels like we should probably start searching the place for manifests and or figure out if there are shipping labels to figure out where the hell this jar may have come from. Identify who all the people in the scene were, and right now the case is a little disassociated from facts, right? Like we're looking at a ghost, right? Like, and this ghost is clearly effing ancient, and the reason I say that is, insofar as I know, there's one wizard on the planet, and it is the Undying Emperor. Is this correct? Judd, you're gonna have to back me up here, more or less. Like as far as like I know, and I'm just a cop. I'm not like a wizard, so like I would not know all the wizards, but like I only know of the Emperor. Like nobody else like walks around saying they're a wizard.
Yeah, no. It's almost a jokey thing to say. Like someone who like no one.
It's a fairy tale, right? It's like talking about dragons.
It's totally like it's on the border of nerdy. Like if you went up to a bunch of whispers and was like, I'm a wizard, they would like laugh you out of the room.
Then Maya definitely exclaimed like it's a wizard when she came
like,
out.
What now?
Yeah.
Is that like a whisper?
Yeah.
Is that a weird Severosi word for whisper? Yeah, okay.
Um
Are you sure? Well, there's a rune. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, right now we don't have a lot of clues. Our only lead of this wizard is that jar and the person that died who somehow acquired it. So I know two things for a fact. One, they did not acquire it legally. And two, there is probably some transactional record that can help us narrow down when did that sum of money that they paid for it change hands. If there was a clandestine meeting, it might be in a calendar or something. So if you would be willing to search the premises, I will pitch Judd the idea that I may want to talk to Hopper and find out what whisper I need to talk to that would know about magic jars and wizards.
Cool. I was gonna say Hopper. I'm very happy Hopper is back in this.
Cool. Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So we're clueless on the blue coat, but I don't 100. It could have been as simple as the blue coat ran over because they heard shots because like 3 people got murdered, and they happened to be on the steps, and they're like, "Hey, hold! I'm a blue bang!" Like I don't know. It could be more complicated than that, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
There's also one other thing, and we may want to talk about this for next week. But I believe that a certain Severosi woman was shot when her ghost was outside her body. And clearly this wizard did something with that ghost, but obliterating ghosts permanently is very, very hard. So having somebody who actually knows what the shit they're doing look for that ghost or try to summon that ghost or something might be fruitful, or we might find out more about how this wizardly stuff works. So
yeah, my Severosi contact might be able to help out, or I could go back to the Mustang and ask around about that too.
Risky. Desperate, one might say. All right. So do we? What do you want to do first?
Ooh, oh, they're also juicy. I feel like Hopper. It's always fun talking to Hopper.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're in Charter Hall. Like he. It's totally cool. Matter of fact, he's closing the library tonight.
Do you wanna go grab them together, or do you want to do the observe roll while I do the Hopper convincing?
Ooh,
it's up to you.
Good question.
We're not. I mean, okay, so we've been told that time is of the essence, which means that Judd's probably making a clock right now as we speak. But so trying to accelerate our actions is kind of important, but I don't I don't know if the 15 minutes to go fetch Hopper in the same district is going to be that important.
Yeah. Also conscious that we made a promise to slow down the case a little bit more to give the ghost some time. Um, I feel like we could probably see Hopper together and then split off, perhaps.
Sure.
Narratively, yeah, yeah.
I mean, we'd probably go back to the house, but we'll see. All right, Judd. I think we're gonna meet Hopper at the library.
Cool. Yeah, he's closing stuff up, but he welcomes you in. Come on in. I'm locking up.
Before you lock up, do you have any books on wizards?
I really don't. I like making fun of me is nasty. Like that's not nice.
I'm actually serious, Hop.
What?
Yeah, yeah. We've got a case with a wizard. Dead wizard, no less. Ghost wizard.
Yeah, I mean, really?
Maya, I assume you told me about this. I'm sorry if I'm stepping.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You could not get Maya to shut up on the carriage ride over to Judd.
Honestly, this wizard?
Yeah.
Do you want to make a research roll? Or is there something you have, or do you have
I don't think we have research rolls.
You have nothing? So,
uh,
are we just depending on Hopper for this?
Observe is the...
Is as close as we get, I think.
Yeah.
Study or analyze is observe. So study, okay. I know that they mean study a location or a person, but we're in a library. We might use observe for research.
Yeah.
I think that's as close as I can get.
Yeah, and I'll give you great effect because I'm a librarian and I want people to go to the library more. And I think you get Hopper's a friend, right? Does he give you an extra die on this?
During downtime.
Or during downtime. Okay, got it.
But I'll tell you what, since he's my friend, I'm going to spend the stress, and I will give you an assist.
Cool.
Boop. I said boop. Oh, there it goes.
Red. And I'll roll this?
Yeah, go ahead. It's okay. Sorry, I've got drive-by catting here.
Yeah, it's adorable.
It was risky gray, or... What was the...
No, it's controlled gray.
A control grade. Oh, cool.
Yeah, go to the library, people.
They're very lovely places.
It's controlled great. Come on now. What more can I do?
I got a 4.
That's okay. That means if it's a gather information check, that means we get good information, but a 6 is with extra follow-up questions essentially.
Good.
Fun fact, I don't know if you know this, Judd, but my mom's a librarian.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that. I think you told me that, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So he finds an old book about Duskball, circa, hold up.
Cat.
Circa early 500s, before the lightning barrier goes up. And before that, there were people called ward keepers who kept the wards of the city up and worked with the gondoliers to deal with ghosts.
Whoa.
And that's kind of what you've got, is that. It was basically a city institution before the spirit wardens.
Cool. So I guess that's part 1. Part 2 is I'd like to relate to Hopper, if a roll is necessary, unless he just knows this information, which is fine. But what I would like to ask him is, I'm look, I don't actually know that many whispers, but I need to know who would have, whispers talk amongst themselves about arcane stuff that crops up and goes on the black market. Who do I need to talk to? Because some guy what got offed by Wizard Ghost acquired a jar with an ancient ghost and knew that he had gotten something fancy. So we don't have a true name. We don't have anything that's usually necessary for ghost summonings or even identifications. And the ghost got away in a body. So I know for a fact that if this we know that if a ghost is in a body too long, they're going to consume the soul of the body, and I think that's how you turn into a vampire. I'm not 100% sure if there's rituals involved, but it's bad. It doesn't matter. He got away with a body, and it can only get worse. So what we really need is to figure out A, who the hell this ghost is, B, where he's laying low, etc. And this is all stuff that we can find out if we can identify the ghost. So I need to find out who did the sale, where did the sale happen, what is the name of this goddamn ghost so that we can track it down. And the start of that is, where was the sale? Who had the ghost in the first place? Like, yeah. So Hops, cool. Can you find out or tell me who I need to press that would have this answer?
All right. So there's like a rumor of a rumor of a rumor that somewhere, I mean, this is like whisper stories you tell your kids shit. Somewhere there's a thing called the Archive that's an Imperial run thing that literally stores ghosts that the Empire wants, that the Imperial government wants to be able to talk to later.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, if he somehow got some shit out of that, like if they've got somebody leaking, I mean, I could put word out, but I don't know what's going to come back.
Okay, you put the word out on your end. I'm going to put the word out on my end. And we'll see what bites. We'll go fishing. I mean, this is a weird case, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So, I turned to my end. I'm like, how do you start a letter to the Immortal Emperor? Dear
He's
sir.
like, yeah, dear Emperor.
My undying honorable liege. There's a rumor. Totally. No, but seriously, I think we need to contact somebody way further up the food chain than we are. So I think, oddly enough, the letter that I'm writing is actually to the, what's the name of the lady that briefed us on the protocols of holography?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
For some reason, my brain remembers her as Force Captain, but I know it's not. That's just, let me see if I have her in my notes.
I oddly don't know if I got her into my... hold on, I've got her somewhere.
Yeah,
because I was super excited about her.
She was awesome. I'm just trying to find where I cleaned my table, which is why, like, my mic was moved earlier, and I'm trying to find out where the heck my notes are.
Captain Elizabeth Carter.
There we go. Captain Carter. I'll remember that because of the SG-1 reference. Cool. She is the one that I am going to send my letter to. And essentially I'm going to be like, Captain Carter, you understand that under Imperial Mandate we deal with some rather odd things. A rumor has come to my attention that I need a discreet pair of ears to investigate and tell me how much further I need to pursue. I give her the spiel. I'm like, there is a rumor that there's a place called the Archive. As far as I know, there is a ghost missing from it. I do not know who verifies this. I do not know who double checks this. I do not know who can take things out of this.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure I want to know. However, I need, I am chasing a ghost in a body. That is a very difficult case for somebody who does not know a lot about ghosts. I know a lot about bodies, I guess. But, you know, so yes, please at least tell me that this is true. Give me a contact or somebody that I can speak to. Someone you trust, because if this is missing, it may be somebody that has access to this and is verified and might be able to cover up something.
Cool.
That's like yours truly, Private Aran.
Right. Right. So I think she's someone who's very busy, and she doesn't cross-reference. So she says, talk to Lord Myles Penderin. He's the chief scholar of the archive.
Okay. Lord Penderin.
Yeah,
Is that
and that
the
name
dead
rings
guy?
right. Yep.
Oh, good! Dear Captain, when Lord Myles Penderin is the dead man who I am investigating, would you perhaps know the name of his understudy? Yours truly, Private Aran.
Right. Right.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I think a pneumatic tube letter is sent to you asking you to meet a gondolier under the bridge where your last case began.
How poetic.
Can I ask you? Oh, yeah. What's her name? Captain Carter. But what's
Yeah.
the lady's first name?
Elizabeth?
Oh,
Okay, carry on. Maya, this is now in your court. You can find out about dead Severosi women or whatever.
yeah, totally. I is there some kind of like a record or register of like people who go to and from Duskwall, or
Yeah,
like,
totally.
because
Totally.
I feel like if there is, then I can perhaps talk to my friend Issa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe save the Mustang for later.
Yep. Yeah, she tells you that Kellen was a Severosi witch. She dealt with spirits and was very good at what she did. Whenever anybody in the Severosi community had any kind of spirit trouble, they would go to her.
Oh, rad. Oh, interesting.
I think she doesn't really know what's going on, so she says, "Why? What's going on? Is Kellen entangled with something?"
One could say that. Issa, she died whilst channeling a rather troublesome ancient spirit. I have some reason to suspect that her body and ghost are gone.
I'm sorry to hear that.
As am I. It sounds as if she did a lot for the community. Did she do this often? Consult with non-Severosi to channel spirits in Duskwall?
Yeah, sometimes she would do it for money on the side. Absolutely.
Of course, the city is indeed convenient for clientele. Are there any family that need to be notified?
I'll let them know. They're
Very well.
not in the city. I'll put word out.
And do send our, of course, yes, express our condolences for such tragedy.
Yeah. And I think like you've got the names of everybody who you've got a body for, right? So you've got Lord Myles Penderin. Then there's also a socialite who you've identified as Lorette Pritchard. 17 years old, engaged to be married to an Imperial Army officer who is in Scotland. Cleaning up after the war, and yeah, from like not a very well-to-do family, but a pretty well-to-do family. And I think her family hasn't been notified yet. And I'm going to say that this is like dawn of that first day.
Getting Marjora's Mask flashbacks. Dawn of the first day.
Yeah,
Dong.
like dawn. Like it's like 6 hours since you open the scene. About 7 hours since the murders themselves.
Where to from here, Drav?
If nothing else works, we meet the gondolier, because that's the one solid lead we have, right?
Yes.
Once upon a time, the ward keepers work with the gondoliers. How that works, I have no idea. But again, we're talking about like hundreds of years ago. The lampblacks used to be lamplighters, and then they got outed because of the electric lights, right? Like, and they didn't have a job, so they turned into a gang. Who the heck knows what became the gondoliers? Because I'm pretty sure that they didn't just go up and down the riverways. So yeah, let's go talk to the gondolier, because that's like a solid lead, and that gives us something, and then we can pull on threads after that.
Was that at a set time, like in the evening?
Yeah. I got a message with a time and a place. They were like, that place where your last case started. I was like, okay, but I'm sure there's a time on it, right? Back me up here, Judd. All right. Cool.
Yeah. There is.
I was just wondering if
if it's evening of the first day, we may want to do something in between.
No, it's fine.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. There's an old man in a gondola in a gondola, like kind of leaning on his stick and smoking a pipe. And
I think I just cut right through the bullshit. I just flashed the Imperial Mandate seal. Like that explains everything he needs to know right there, I think. Sort of our Go ahead.
I imagine it's still drizzling a little bit. Pipe smoke mixing it with the fog.
I'm supposed to take you to the archive.
Okay, that was a lot more direct than I expected.
You flashed the badge,
Do
sir.
we need to know anything else? Okay, we're going.
My name's Mist.
I'm Drav. This is Inspector. Do you go by Inspector Tui, or?
Yeah, we'll say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Officially.
Right, but like this guy's like, I'm a man with a job, and I'm just like, oh, okay, we can talk like we're two normal people doing our duties, and like, gosh darn it, I'm going to some weird places. How's your job been? Is that some good pipe tobacco? Like, I try to get to know him a little bit on the way. Not like pressing too much, just like. So
how long have you been doing the job?
Yeah, how long have you been taking people to the archives? And do you know anything about the gondoliers and these people called ward keepers?
Oh, I take the archivist down there. I mean, it's kind of a windy road, and yeah, gotta make sure nobody's following us, and it can get kind of messy.
Okay then.
Ward keepers? Where'd you hear that bit of history? Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
centuries ago, before the lightning barriers were up, that's what the founding families had to do in their towers. They had to keep their warding stones and provide a ward keeper for the city.
when you say the
Kind of was like,
towers, are you talking about the six towers?
yes, sir.
I got shot in a tower once. So I think a ward keeper ghost is missing from your archive.
Oh, it's not my archive. I'm just a gondolier.
Yeah, that scans. All
So
right.
wait, a ghost is missing?
Mm, very dangerous one, it seems.
Hmm.
I think there's probably like a moment where like Drav gets really, really, really quiet. It's almost like he's like, yeah, I mean, it just there's one missing, and he's like thinking and thinking and thinking, and he gets real quiet, and he looks at Maya like he's about to say something, but he waits until we get to the archive. So, um, Judd,
Yeah.
how's that windy road? D-
So he says, I'm gonna take you to I didn't know there was a ghost involved. Do you mind do you mind taking a bit of a route the long way?
Short way would be better. We're on a bit of a clock. There's a dead body with a ghost inside it involved. And Drav seems to want to say something else, but he doesn't. He just looks at him and goes like, I think we're on an even shorter clock than that, maybe. I thought we had 4 weeks, but I don't know how long we have. So step on the paddle and don't spare the. I've got no metaphors here. I'm sorry. I was like, they don't have gas. They don't. We don't really use horses. So
Yeah, and he takes you to like he leads you to canals under the city that you have never seen before.
this I was expecting. Yeah.
And at a dead end, where the pool kind of uh, you know flows off into a lock. He ties the boat up and points to a stairwell and says, "There it is."
I think we're like maybe 5 steps up into the corridor when Drav says, I think our ghost is planning to let in a bunch of other ghosts. He says the perimeter wall is really wide, so I don't know that we could stop him if he tried going under the lightning barriers. But and I give you this look like I know there are routes under the lightning barriers because we've used them as smugglers. And I go, but I'm suspecting that if we need to find him, he's either going to be in the towers or by the walls. It's the only thing they're tied to. He's not going to go to his old house or something. He doesn't know what house this body belongs to, so. I mean, he could kill anyone. He could hide anywhere, but I don't think that he's waiting the full 8 weeks. I think he's got purpose. Those actions in that room are not a desperate ghost repeating its last events. I think they are a ghost that knows what it's doing, and he has a mission, which means that I suspect that all of Duskwell may actually be in danger.
Indeed. I feel I've spent so much time worried about the rats that infest this place, but we could have more than one infestation on our hands.
I'll get you some help.
Awesome. So, Judd, what is the archive like? I have no idea. Does every city have one of these? I have no idea. Oh no, actually,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's a stairwell going down, and then there's this. I mean, it looks like kind of like a submarine door with like a spinning lock, and heavily warded cold iron so that ghosts could not get in or out. And when you knock, the wheel spins, and an older woman is there, and I'm Carmina. I heard you were coming.
Carmina, I am Inspector Tui, and this is my colleague. Are you an inspector now? Or are you still a private?
Oh, apparently I'm still a private.
Private Drabaron.
I Lila Dallas multi-pass the Imperial seal.
Yeah, I think she like ushers you in. She looks at it and like looks at the paperwork, make sure like first she closes the door, locks it, checks the wards, and then looks at the paperwork, like puts it down on a desk, looks at it as if this is not the first Imperial Mandate she's seen, and says,
so she knows what pages to flip to, like
yeah, and she says,
"Did you know?" Did she introduce herself as an archivist?
Yeah, my name's Carmina. I'm an archivist here.
Did you know Lord Myles Penderin?
He was my boss. He's the chief scholar here in the Archive of Echoes.
Oh, so you've heard of his passing?
I was gonna say she used the past tense.
Yeah.
Yes, Captain Carter sent word.
Do you know that he was in possession of a ghost jar of a particularly potent ghost that labels itself a wizard?
I did not. It would be against protocol for us to take a spirit jar out of the archive.
You want to go with us through your jars, make sure they're all accounted for?
That would take some time.
Let me narrow it down for you. I only care about word keeper jars. Does that help?
That narrows it down. And about 25 minutes later, she says, so there is a false jar in place of Una Ward. She was the chief ward keeper. In the year 556, when the lightning barriers went up and the ward keepers were dissolved.
I have a couple questions. By the way, please jump in anytime, Lauren. I'm sorry if I'm like... But I have a couple questions.
Oh, not at all. Please go for gold.
Question one. How did her ghost end up in here? Is there a protocol? Like, was she executed? Is there vengeance involved?
Like, dissolved.
She was very outspoken against the lightning barriers and the creation of the spirit wardens, and she died in conflict with them.
I look at Maya like,
Yeah.
I I inwardly think to myself, I kind of agree with her. The spirit wardens are super creepy. I just, but I say nothing. And I give her a bland look, and I say, okay, what royal household was she attached to? In the Six Towers.
Yeah, it's got to be Rowan, right? I mean, there's no other answer for this, I think.
Of course it was. All right, good. Maya, you got questions?
Ooh. Nothing off the top of my head. I'm wondering if there's anything else to glean from like an observe role, or like, putting an eye to the room or to Kamina.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with a controlled standard roll, just to see what you can figure out.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think just to just to give, I think you're in like an office, and like you can see like there are spirit jars, and like part of what she does is like conduct interviews, and part of what she does is weld spirit jars shut. She's kind of like, a part archivist, part engineer.
We should definitely sneak into her boss's office to see.
We may not need to sneak. We may just be
just go
waiting
there.
to see your boss's office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right? Like the Imperial Seal kind of gives us privilege.
Oh,
and
that's
this
true.
is one of the times when we may want to smack it on the table.
Totally. I gotta.
Your dice are not on today.
No, all those I used all those sixes last month.
No.
Well, we needed them then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that it's controlled, right?
Sure. And you can say we have no further avenue, or you could say, it gets risky.
It doesn't get risky though. I think you're just not picking anything up from here. Like, she's just a woman at work. You don't. She lets you into Lord Myles Penderen's office. It's a big office, and a desk, a bunch of books. He has some kind of log book, and there's also like a weird machine next to his desk that looks like some kind of projector. And there are a couple of spirit jars like on his desk.
On his desk? I actually have a question for our Carmina.
Yes.
What are you planning to do after we leave?
I'm going to note that the spirit jar for Una Ward is missing. Put in that paperwork. And then I'm going to wait for the next chief scholar to be sent from Imperial City.
And how are they chosen?
I imagine the Emperor chooses them. I'm not sure. It's a pretty important position. I mean, all of the history of Duskball is here. It's pretty spectacular.
Indeed, and it seems like one is gifted a lot of trust in this role as well.
Yes. And one can imagine another vision of Duskball. The Bellwether Crematorium, there were some who thought it should be the Bellwether Archive, And imagine that. Imagine if that was public. Imagine if we didn't burn our history. Imagine if we stored it. Imagine if you could come and talk to your ancestors anytime you wanted to.
Maya like smirks a bit at that. I feel like that's a Silverworthy probably do that all the time.
Right.
I think Maya says like that is a very interesting point. Is that perhaps what charmed Lord? Is it Penderson or
Penderin?
Penderin. Sorry, my.
It's halfway between Penderson and Pendragon. So.
Yeah. And then
I have to keep checking my notes too.
I'm not sure I understand. Charmed?
Well,
swayed, persuaded,
yes. What provoked him to take such underhanded measures in improperly taking the spirit jar out of the archive?
I don't know what was going on in Lord Myles Penderin's mind. And if he broke protocol, if that is true, I don't know why he did it.
I imagine the repercussions for doing so are quite grave.
How much more grave could they be, really? Do you want to...
Well, it's just interesting since the only people we found at the scene were himself, the person channeling the spirit, and some socialite. When you put the two together, one sounds quite frivolous for such a grave indiscretion.
Seance parties are very in vogue.
We did find that out in the last case.
Yes.
Lord Penderin could provide the best seance parties imaginable.
Oh, of course. Do you have other questions, Trav?
Do you want to talk to ghosts?
Do you have any other ward keepers here?
Mm-hmm.
I look at Maya, and what Drav absolutely says is they're the only people that would have known her. If we're going to interrogate somebody who is close to our suspect, it is about as close as we can get. But Maya knows him a little too well and realizes that in his sort of gut of guts, Drav is like, I want to see the cool ghost jar plays. Like, you know, he's like, he's all like, can we?
Yeah,
so,
she brings you she brings you a looks definitely like a book cart with 4 ghost jars on it. And she takes one off and says, this is Corin Ward. He was the ward keeper for the McClellans.
How's your question, Maya?
Oh, my question.
Yeah.
I have 2.
Mine is garbage, but I can assist you.
Excellent. Yes, I can question a ancient ward.
Yeah, and I think she puts it into she takes the jar and puts it into the projector.
Oh.
The projector literally like starts to spin, and you can feel the electric charge hit the room. and then the ghost is just like projected into the air. And I think it's definitely like looks like a Reformation era wizard. I mean, he's got kind of like puffy sleeves and an intense stare, and he immediately like looks around and takes stock.
I think Maya leads over to Drop and says, like, someone should tell Hopper about this technology.
Actually, Drop is like, he's like, man. I think Drop very calmly looks at you and says, if I have to be honest, I think Hopper likes it the way it is. He wouldn't, A, feel nearly as special, and B, I think he gets a thrill from it. And then just leans right back. We've all got our vices. Maybe that's the line. Maybe it's just we've all got our vices.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess Maya addresses the ghost floating in the middle of the room. I think she like isn't quite sure what to do. I think actually like sort of does a questioning like.
Yeah, I think the ghost like leans forward like to a mic that isn't there and says, "Is this thing on?" I'm assuming that Lord Penderin is dead.
Yes, an astute observation. We are inquiring into his we're inquiring into his death.
Mm-hmm. Was it Una?
It was indeed Una.
This ghost knows a lot.
That's a lot, yeah. Like Maya, I think it's a bit like.
Yeah, he is.
How much he knows.
Yeah, he nods.
In fact, Una is still rogue, is when they put it.
In the wind, really. Good for her.
No. It's very bad for Duskfall, I think.
How can I help?
Do you know where she would go? What she would want to do?
She'd want to bring down the lightning barrier is what she'd want to do.
Got it in one! Yeah! Woo! Sorry. I mean, that's horrific and will result in the deaths of thousands.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Where would she go to do that?
What resources does she have at her hand?
Well, presumably if she can figure out who she is and what resources they have access to.
Presume that she can.
Oh, good. Shit. Which body was she in? The Leviathan captain? I forget.
She was in... Yeah.
Yeah. I give you, like, the look like you do understand that the Leviathan captains are all freaking noble, have more money than we can imagine, and also warships at their disposal. That's a lot of resources. I say very good, under my breath.
How long has she had?
Some 15 hours or so, right? How quickly does it take for her to... Yeah, how quickly does she move? How quickly does it take her to sort of like learn about the person she's embodying?
I think she would learn very quickly. She is very smart. I think she's the smartest of us. In some ways. Maybe not the politically smartest.
Did she ever talk about how she would take down the lightning barriers back in the day?
No, she died in a blaze of glory. She wasn't much of a talker. She was a doer.
Hmm.
I was ready to retire.
Sorry, for a split second I asked him if he was one day from retirement.
And I did.
Okay.
She will use whatever resources that person has at their disposal. She will know that you're coming for her, and she will move quickly.
I feel like we have what we need to have.
Yeah. Wow, this is rough.
Nope. Because we have something really, really cool. We have an Imperial pardon.
Yes.
Because I'm like,
Excellent.
wow, we've got a noble woman who's got money and power, probably an entire crew protecting her. I don't know how I would take the lightning barriers. I mean, she could cannonade them for all we know. She could summon a Leviathan from the deeps to crawl up into Duskfall and try and rip one off. I'm not really sure. It could be any number of things. But what I do know is that if she's on her boat, we can just walk in there with an Imperial pardon and letting us do whatever we need to do to get her out. However, I don't know anything about ghost combat, and I feel like what we really need right now is somebody with a little bit more know-how in the supernatural arena, because I think we're outclassed. All right, so this is interesting. This is like having a serial killer that you know is going to kill, but you don't know how many hours you've got, and you got to find out where they are. They could be anywhere in the city. Like, Duskfall is like, what, the size of New York? It's freaking huge. So, like, I don't know, we'll see. But I don't know that this 550, so this 500-year-old ghost is going to necessarily be able to give us all the info we need. All right. Cool. I feel like I'm good here. Do you have anything you want to ask?
No, I think I'm good. Yeah.
Judd,
Carmina says, thank you, Corin. And he says, yeah.
Boo.
Like, she powers it down and he fades back into the jar. This system is much better than our old one because technically they don't have to leave the jar in order to be projected. It's very safe.
Oh, good.
But the projectors are costly and they take a lot of power. Is there anything else I can do for you? Anyone else I can get?
Where does your power come from?
We're hooked into the
city grid.
City grid.
Okay.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Do you have generators, backup power, batteries?
Yes.
You may want to sever yourself from the city grid until this is settled.
That's smart. Thank you.
I was like, fighting one ghost, very difficult. We do not know where she is, and she's got all sorts of power, including runes and the ability to talk through time via the ghost field. I'm like, yes, that would be terrible. But you know what's worse than that? Her getting all of her friends out. And then we have to deal with 10 of them that can do that. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
Cool. Yeah, that's all I got. So
yeah,
I'm cheating a little bit. I've got a little bit of Strash Whisper ninja-ness in there, but like not much. I think it's probably within the area of like common knowledge there.
Yeah.
So, cool. Does this feel like a good cut place? I don't know, like if we want to keep pushing or do we want to do downtimes? Like what do we want to do here? I feel like we're on the clock, so I don't want to do downtimes, but I also feel like this is a good ending point for that particular leg of the investigation.
Right.
So, maybe we can do really fast downtimes or something that don't take a lot of actual down time. It makes vicing difficult for you more than me, Lauren.
Yeah, I'm a bit too stressed.
Yeah, I feel like I'm good too. Judd, how do we want to handle this? Do we want to take a break? Like, is this actually like a good stopping point for tonight, or do we want to like how do we want to handle this?
I'm cool stopping here tonight
Okay.
and reconvening with some downtime. I do have some clocks that I'm ticking, so for downtime, I'll tick a couple of clock. I'm gonna take a couple of ticks.
That is actually literally in the rules for Blades, but go on.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we'll see what happens next week.
All right, that sounds good.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay, Lauren, no pressure. But the two of us have a limited number of hours in order to save all of the people of Duskwall from having the ghost barrier go down and the ghosts come rushing in, because clearly that's the stakes. So if this is not a Sherlock Holmes mystery, I don't know what is.
Oh my god. And then if we don't do it, we'll have to be responding to, like, the chief of ghost police.
Well, we can talk about that. We might be able to get somebody to actually like play a spirit warden if we want to get some backup with actual attune and powers like that.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
That'd be awesome.
All right, cool. Do we want to do XPs then?
Yeah.
Let me just do a 48 hours Duskfall. Oh no! You're so right. This is totally that.
That's
although
awesome.
there was I can't remember it anymore. In the 80s, there was a similar kind of stakes with drugs thing with like Eddie Murphy being a cop, but I don't remember it. I don't remember the name of that title. I think it was. It may have been 48 hours. I don't know. I'll look it up. All right. Before we do anything else, I'm gonna write in here. Start with downtimes.
Nice.
Boop. Leave a little note for us in the chat. Cool. Let's do some XP. Lauren, do you want to go first?
Yeah, totally. So I didn't roll any desperate actions. Mark XP or 2 for each of the following. You honorably did your duty in service to the Imperium, or you did what's right.
I mean, we definitely did that the entire first half of this game.
Oh yeah, talking down the magistrate, testifying against the Rowans, making sure they all went down.
I would vote for 2 XP for that.
Yep.
Rad. Okay, and then I expressed beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
Oh, Beverly Hills Cop. That's
Yes, definitely.
I think that came up. Yeah,
Definitely.
a couple of times. And so my trauma, I struggle with issues from vices or traumas during this session. My trauma I picked is reckless.
Awesome.
But yeah, which I think I was kind of, oh crap. There were a couple of times I was trying to lean into it. I don't know if I leaned in heavily enough. I think it was around like sort of going to the magistrate and be like, you're not doing your job right.
I'm happy with you being reckless all day long. I think that's great. So,
Yay.
Fantastic. That is XP I'm thrilled to hand out.
In my head, I was kind of like, that's Myles, like, fuck this, like, system of like, sort of bureaucratic corruption. Like,
you want to know something absolutely truly horrible? I was back in the day when Blade started. I had a very similar situation where I had to figure out what the hell the legal system in Duskwall was because there wasn't a book to tell me. And so I actually did research into Victorian justice systems, and one of the things that I found out is that rich people could be sentenced to prison, and one of the things that they could do is, just like they could pay for somebody else to go to the army, they could pay for somebody else to sit their prison sentence.
oh, red.
I'm not even joking.
Oh my gosh.
There was some, like, a lot of the judgments were like, yeah, but everybody knows he's a good person, and your reputation actually counted for more than necessarily, like, proof. So, yeah, I learned some things. I was reading that. I was like, all of the stuff that we assume now, like innocent until proven guilty, due process, Mirandizing people, all that stuff is, like, completely out the window. So, yeah, it was, totally. I was waiting for Ujed to play some cards there. I was like, but we made our rolls, everything stuck, so that's
everything's fine. I was kind of hoping that Lizette would walk the streets and like get to start her gang, because that was totally what she was gonna do.
Oh, red.
She was totally gonna like start a gang, like and
I kind of wanted that, but there's also this outcome where so there's two problems with that. The first problem is that, man, I would not be able to resist being like, and this is the scene where Rona knifes her, right? Like it was just gonna be the like, hey Lizette, now you're in my arena, right? But like, the Immortal Emperor literally told us, like, they can't get knifed, they can't get murked. Like, you gotta do this by the book and you gotta make it stick. And I was like, okay, mechanized, beautifully masked Prussian Generalissimo, if you say so, sir. So, yeah. All right. I forget. Are you? How's that XP's going? I'm sorry if I cut everything off there.
I think I did mine.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me jump onto mine here. I gotta read it because I have it here. I don't actually think I rolled any desperate actions, so I think we're good there. But you served your precinct by laying down the law, or you did what's right. I feel like
totally.
I definitely did what's right. I made a big speech about that.
You thought about not doing what was right, and then you did it.
I did. I thought a lot about doing what's not right, but I did the right thing. And then you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
Definitely. Like
the stare down over my tattoo was probably the most notable one.
So good.
And finally, you struggled with issues from your visceral traumas during the session. So, I feel like my obsession is what drove me to go after Lizette. But I don't know. I mean, I made some rolls. I don't know how much it was about of a struggle. I also have a second trauma, which is reckless, but I don't think that I did anything particularly reckless. I was actually cool as a cucumber for a lot of that. I think the only reckless thing that I did, and you can take it or leave it, is when I called the magistrate a coward.
Yes, I was gonna say that counts.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Cool. Go ahead.
And the other reckless thing I was trying to lean into was like like attuning with ghosts at the crime scene.
Yeah, for you that is reckless. I would 100% back that play, because did that not go well?
Oh no, they got very dangerous. Yay.
All right, let me note my XPs. I kind of want to dump it into my skills because we need. Oh yeah, we always need more skills, but
yeah, I just popped one into testify.
2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I think I am going to put a couple into playbook so I can start on playbook because I really need to get functional vice, and I think I am going to. I think I'm gonna roll over conviction and also pick up a dot of testify.
Nice.
Just because it proved to be so effing important, and I don't want you to be the only person rolling. Maybe we can do like a group action or something like that. Also, this means that my vice rolls will be a lot stronger. So.
Also, I can't wait to testify against the ghost. Ghost court.
Cool. Do we want to do our current mandate, our ghost mandate? Oh man, it reminds me of like the Jason Morningstar finding like the one case where like there was actually a ghost on a stand, and hilariously the ghost won.
Yes.
That's what Ghost Court is based on.
Oh my god.
All right. So let's talk about this. Enforce the law or advance the progress of the mandate. I feel like we definitely enforce the progress of this new mandate. Yeah. I would even argue for 2 XP, largely because like that's all we did is make headway.
I think so.
And then contend with challenges above your current station.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Duskfall being destroyed. I guess we didn't contend with it.
That's a good. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That's a question. What is the tier of the ward keepers? They don't exist anymore. They're just ghosts. But she did feel very powerful. I don't know. Judd, what do you think? Is it worth 1 XP, or do we say 0 now and deal with it next time?
I think it's 0 right now.
Yeah, I can't really gainsay that. Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one. Let's talk about that. So we have 3 reputations: ambitious, honorable, and team players. Um, do we feel like we upheld any of those, or did we get a new one?
I think ambitious for sure. Like I kind of feel like, yeah, getting this case and ascertaining what we did
Yeah.
was pretty ambitious.
Yep.
All right, cool. So maybe one. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
All right.
We get any new reputations? Oh.
I don't think yet. Although, depending on whether we collaborate with the Spirit Wardens next time, we might be able to pick up team player XP. We'll see.
Yep.
And finally, express the goals, drives, inner conflict, and essential nature of the crew. I mean, I would argue for 2 XP, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think so.
That one's usually easy. All right, cool. All the XP's marked. I think that's it for us for now. We ready for outros?
Yeah.
Awesome, cool. I am going to ask Lauren to start us off because I have to run behind me and grab the thing. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. I'm Lauren. I use she they. I am at the Stray Kiwi on Twitter, and I have a website which is thestraykiwi.com, where you can look at all of my design work I have going on and the stuff I've edited for TTRPG. Oh my gosh. I am so excited for this case. I feel like I was like kind of quiet because I was trying to wrap my head around just the immense awesomeness of what we're doing like right now for the second case. I can't wait to like Phoenix write the crap out of everything. This feels delightfully serious and also quite ridiculous. And I'm here for all of those tones.
Awesome.
And yeah, I will have a hard time waiting for next episode.
Yeah,
and yeah.
My hope is that this case will go a little shorter. Like the last one was like 6. I'd love for this one to be like 2 or 3, and then we can like talk about if we want to like clean up the loose ends of the last case or whatever.
Excellent. I feel like this clocks are for sure gonna keep us on a good time budget.
Girl Underground is so good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I was gonna say outside of this game. Yeah, I just released Girl Underground. Thank you. I'm so happy to hear it. Girl Underground, if you don't know, is an Alice in Wonderland PBTA game where you explore a curious girl's adventures through a wondrous land with her companions. It's all about sort of self-discovery and finding yourself and having weird, wonderful, fun times while you're at it. Thank you. That means a lot.
It's always a relief when like you've got a buddy who like releases something and you're like holding your breath. They're like, please be good. I just want to like it. I want to like it because I like you. And I was like, holy shit, this is really good. It's really amazing. Like the stuff about rebelling against once girls are supposed to be, and the moves are so good. The moves are really good. There's one about I think it's some kind of information move, but in order to do it, you have to like do something within the like social mores of the weird world.
Oh yeah, like I forget the exact wording, but it's like if you can ask the GM a question, and if you go along with like a weird ritual or take part in like a strange thing, you get all the information you want, and if you don't, it's like the information comes as like a riddle or like that kind of thing. I'm glad you like that one. I'm so happy. Yeah, like I was holding my breath when we released it because I was like, you really believe in a thing, and you're like, yeah, this like totally tells the story I want to tell, and you're like, I just hope we like communicate that to everyone. So
it does. It's awesome. It's really, really good. I thought it was awesome.
I wouldn't know anything about this feeling. Sorry.
And outside of Girl Underground, I edit TTRPGs. So if you're looking for a TTRPG editor, feel free to hit me up. And I think that's it. Am I throwing to Strash now?
Sure.
Or
I'll go. Hey, I'm Strash. He, him. You can find me on Twitter at StrashA. You can see it under my thing. I stream here Thursdays and every other Saturday for this case, which has been ongoing. Thursdays you can see me running this awesome game called Band of Blades, which we just released. It's not the physical copies. If you want to get them at the same time that everybody else gets them, this is like a pre-release copy that we got as an advance. But you should go to Evil Hat's site and you should pre-order it because if you do it before Monday, it's gonna ship out when all of the store's stuff ships out. So you're gonna get it same as like with Amazon pre-orders, usually like a day or two before it hits shelves. So if you want to be the cool kid on the block that gets the cool game before everybody else, that's snag it by Mondays. Which is the 15th if you're on YouTube and watching this, because clearly it's a different date for you. So, yeah. Judd, did you do your outro?
So Band of Blades is my current face-to-face game that I'm running. So I've got this situation where the players are like, well, we want to do all these projects. The quartermaster is very ambitious, and she's like, I want to do all these projects, but I don't have a lot of supplies. How do I do it? And I was like, you don't. You're running from an undead army. It's not like there used to being like Scoundrels in Deskval, where it's like we're in between jobs. Let's get some stuff done. We've got coin to spend, and like it's just different. Like it's just like war is hell. This is not like, and I'm a total jerk about it, and I think they get it. But like there was one thing where they're like, we're not going to get this done before we get to Skydiagra Keep. And I was like, probably not.
You should tell there's one thing that you can tell your players. You should tell them that they should get laborers.
They do. They've got laborers, but even with laborers, they're like doing the math, and it's frantic. I also might have set some of the clocks for personal projects too high.
Yeah, okay.
So I think if you're coming from Blades in the Dark and you're going from Band of Blades, I would like cut back on your clock on your project clocks.
The advice said that a standard clock should be like for something reasonable, it should be like 4-ish. For something that's like a little bit difficult, it should be 6-ish, and then like for like truly outlandish stuff, it's in the like 8 to 10 range maybe.
Yeah, I went way too high. So
well, then tell them that you've been reading the rules, and it's.
I have. I cut it way back. But they're still. Yeah, we'll see.
Cool.
And I've got a podcast called Daydreaming About Dragons where I talk about gaming stuff. I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to talk about True Detective again. I talked about it earlier and about how it uses monsters, but I'm going to talk about it again in an upcoming episode, probably this Sunday, about how I was inspired by the way True Detective's first season used Louisiana for how I kind of make the cases for this game. So if you want to hear stuff about that, come on in. If you put in the search terms Daydreaming About Dragons, you will find a lot of people who are actually daydreaming about dragons, which is awesome. And you'll also probably find my podcast. So it's out there.
Good.
And that's about it.
I cannot recommend this enough. I took a trip to GPNW, as I mentioned, and it was one of the things that kept me happy and healthy, going on my trip and coming back.
Thank you.
Delays and other nonsense that we had to get through, and it's Judd just having little chats in my ears. It was really good. So.
Yay. Cool.
All right. I think at this point, we're just going to do a smooth outro. So all of you that are watching, thank you so much for joining us. And hopefully we'll see you again when this new case returns in 2 weeks, I think, right?
Yeah, the Wizard Jar case. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. See you folks then.
Can't wait.